After decades of neglect, the Philippine National Railways is looking to a total transformation of its service from Manila to Legazpi. To give us more insights into this ambitious project, we have invited to Motoring Forum PNR General Manager Mr. Junn Magno. Hello, Junn Magno, and welcome to Motoring Today.
Hello, Butch, and to all the viewers of Motoring Today.
Now, for the benefit of our viewers, would you kindly give us a brief description of the Manila-Legazpi route of the PNR, how long this line will be, the stops it will make, and the areas it will soon traverse?
Okay, actually, we call that project the Philippine National Railways South Long Haul Project. It would initially traverse the line between Manila to Naga and Legazpi. However, it will be extended all the way to Matnog in Sorsogon. And then this whole line, we are transforming this to be from a heavy rail into its fast intercity na train service. This would be running, before our service was already running between 60 and 90. We are gunning to make this service go as fast as 120 to 150, most probably average of 120 kilometers per hour. The service, ang objective kasi namin for the transformation before, PNR only serve as long haul. But however, in these cities like Legazpi and Naga and Quezon and San Pablo, these are becoming large cities na. So it's not between Manila and the most furthest point na the transformation is happening na in these areas they don't have a mass transit service for them to grow yung commuters nila especially in the case of between Naga and Legazpi. There's actually the two cities are almost joining each other na. So ang transformation na mangyayari doon, PNR would serve as parang mass transit provider in these locations.
It is no secret that PNR lines that have been closed for decades are now occupied by informal settlers. How are you going to address this problem, and how is relocation going to be handled?
Okay. Most of the PNR lines have informal settlers dun sa side. However, the line is still intact. Between here and Legazpi, the service is operable. However, for us to have a very fast service from 90 to 120 kilometers per hour, there are safety concerns that we have to remove yung informal settlers living beside the railway tracks. So that's why we have to remove them for safety purposes. Now, we spoke to key shelter agencies like HUD-C, NHA, SHAP-C, and PCUP. They are helping us in the relocation of those people. Now, there will be some cases that there will be so much informal settlers. What we intend to do is we would acquire new land for new alignments. In certain cases, there are certain towns that our line goes across the town. Maybe it makes sense na we just buy land and bypass the town and still maintain the speed. Second is some of the curves that we have can only sustain 90 kilometers per hour. We would also buy new right-of-way to correct them so they could sustain speed of 120.
Aside from those illegally settling in the area, what other concerns and challenges are you facing to make PNR's total transformation possible? And how are you going to deal with them?
The transformation, the biggest problem with the transformation is actually the organization. The organization is decimated from 5,000 people to less than 200 people na lang that we have employed right now. However, the transformation, we should build the new company to be a knowledge-based competency from before. We have a 125-year-old tradition. There are good and bad parts of our tradition. And we cannot be part of this build without really transforming how we manage ourselves. So the organization has to transform itself and improve our relationship with our customers.
Tell us, when will the construction start and how long will it be, and when do you expect it to be operational?
The Manila to Legazpi segment, I am not sure, but I am sure that Manila to Matnog segment would take everything from design all the way to building, all the way to acceptance, 7 years. So it already started. We already procured the consultants actually a few weeks ago. We are in the process of evaluating their bids. We would be awarding the consultant who would design the new line and faster speed service. By next year, we should start procuring who would build the project. And the consultant's report would tell us how many construction companies will be needed. So it will be done fast. Estimate namin everything to Matnog would take 7 years. Partial service, maybe in 2 to 3 years. We would have partial service in regional, at least in regional areas.
As we speak, do you have a projected daily schedule of the trains? How many trips do you have for this particular line? At what time is the first and last trip? How long is the train intervals? And how much is the fare?
Okay. The daily service, we are thinking of at least one way, maybe around 6 trips a day. So if we're operating 8 hours, that's every 1.5 hours, to maybe one every hour leaving Manila to all the way to Matnog, and vice versa. So that's around 8, let's say at 8 and 8, that's 16 trips a day in both sides. And if depende doon sa report ng consultants namin, we may include shuttle trips or express trips in between two locations. Before, we have express shuttles, we call the Penafrancia Express and the Bicol Express, which are practically express na without any stop between Manila and Naga and Manila and Legazpi. So we may activate that service. Also made the service all the way to Matnog. So the service, ang Legazpi expected namin na from 12 to 14 hours, we want to cut it down to 6 to 8 hours between Manila and Legazpi and Naga.
Can you also tell us how modern do you envision the coaches to be? Will there be cabins for sleeping passengers?
The coaches will be top of the line. It will be sleek. It would have high power to weight ratio, meaning it would use light materials, it would use new materials, it would use new technology as much as possible. We want to use regeneration. The energy taken by the brakes will be stored as electricity, can be reused. That's one of the things that we want to see. We want energy efficient components and subsystems. We are envisioning that because this is a very long haul, this would be like other countries, it would still be diesel driven. It would use the new Euro 4 or Euro 5 specifications for internal combustion engines utilizing diesel as fuel. And then it would have the amenities like Wi-Fi, and it would have like coaches that are much more comfortable. It will be a world of difference of what we have right now.
Thank you very much for your time, Junn Magno. Before we end, do you have any message to the viewers, most especially to regular PNR commuters?
PNR employees, ang message lang namin is, we came in here 2016, I came in 2017. Most of these projects, this doesn't materialize agad-agad because we have to go through the government budget process. That would take a year, that's annual lang. And once we buy whatever the stuff that we need to this transformation, it takes years. So we're asking for your patience na wait for the projects lang. We already did the transformation of the Manila South Corridor between Tutuban and Calamba. While waiting for the huge ODA projects, we are refleeting the Manila Southern Corridor that would start next year in 2019, around July to December 2019, yung deliveries ng trains. Bear with us. You waited long enough, and konting tiis na lang. The new systems will be delivered, it will be built, it will just take time. However, it already started with this administration.
Thank you once again, sir.
Thank you, Butch. Happy motoring.
PNR General Manager Mr. Junn Magno, our guest this week on Motoring Today's Motoring Forum, courtesy of Suzuki Philippines.